time, weather, and...
Hello and welcome to Driving with Todd. And I'm Todd. Hello everyone. I pulled out a reel-to-reel tape that I had bought, I don't know, probably 15 years ago and had never listened to. It's Arthur Conley's Soul Directions. I put it on, didn't really look at the track listing at all, and it's pretty funky, pretty soulful. And then the song comes on, and I'm going, I've heard this song already. It's called Get Yourself Another Fool. And I couldn't place where I've heard that song before. So I had to look it up on the internet, and sure enough, Elvis Costello covered it and released it, I believe, as a B-side to a single in 1986. And he did it fairly closely to the way Arthur Conley had did it on this album, slow and soulful. So I looked further and I saw that Paul McCartney had covered it in 2012. He had it on his album Kisses at the Bottom. And it's like, yeah, I think I remember him doing that as well. I looked further. Sam Cooke did a cover of the song. And what I found out is that the original version of this song was done by a group called the Charles Brown Trio and released it in 1948. It was the Charles Brown Trio's first single. Charles Brown plays piano and sings, and then he has a guitarist and a bass player with him on the particular record. That makes the trio. Now, I've never heard it before, so I thought, it'd be kind of fun is listen to the Charles Brown Trio version, the original version of the song, and then come back to the Arthur Conley version that I listened to today and do kind of a comparison. Now, the song is written by Ernest Monroe Tucker and Frank A. Haywood. Haywood. Not sure who that is, but like I said, when I heard the song by Arthur Conley, I'm going, I've heard that already. That's a great song. So here we go with the Charles Brown Trio doing the original version of the song Get Yourself Another Fool from 1948. And then we'll listen to the Arthur Conley version that he recorded and released on this album in 1968. Now, I want to just mention one other thing. The only song before listening to this reel-to-reel tape that I had known that Arthur Conley did was the song Sweet Soul Music. My brother had that as a single in the 60s. So here we go with Charles Brown Trio, and then followed up by Arthur Conley doing the song Get Yourself Another Fool.
At last I awaken to see what you've done. So what can I do but pack up and run? Now I know the rule. Get yourself another fool.
Oh, okay. I'm 30 seconds into the song. The vocal started almost immediately. I had that little guitar in the beginning, and then the vocal started up. Charles Brown started singing. Kind of a cross between soul music, which I'm not sure didn't really happen in the 40s. I don't believe that happened in the 40s. I think that was more of a late 50s, early 60s phenomena, and then grew huge in the later 60s into the 70s and yet today. This is probably more jazz-like. So I'm guessing jazz was more of a hot topic in the 40s than what soul would have been. And now I'm not an expert on music from the 40s at all. In fact, this is, I think, the first song that I've ever covered done in the 40s. But the music here, as we've seen, this is done in 1948, transcends into the future and is done by many, many, many artists, like I had mentioned. So this is kind of the start of popular music for the 60s. So let's keep on going. I like what I'm hearing so far.
You said that you love me. I was yours to command. Your kind of love my heart couldn't stand. Use me for your tool. Get yourself another fool. And now that we're through, you say you meant to be true, but deep in your heart, you know our love could never grow. I tried to believe you, that we'd never part. Your kind of love broke my poor heart. I know the rule. Get yourself another fool. I tried to believe you.
Oh, nice instrumental break in there. I love the guitar. I mean, that's really clean jazz guitar. And, back then they didn't have fuzz tones and wah wah pedals and, and those types of gadgets that could make a guitar do about anything. So it had to be up to the guitarist to make the sound that they were looking for. And that was a really smooth guitar solo. I also like the fact that after the guitar solo, the piano came back in and took over that instrumental break and then took us out into the vocal section of the song again. Really nice, very slow, very melodic, and it's kind of a sad song because he's breaking up with his girlfriend and he's telling her, I've had enough. Get yourself another fool. So, but I just really like how this is just flowing along, and that piano is just really, really nice in this song. Let's keep on going.
I tried to believe you, that we'd never part. Your kind of love broke my poor heart. I know the rule. Get yourself another fool. Baby, get yourself another fool.
Oh, nice. That was really nice. I like the way he sang this too. He gave it a little bit of an edge at the end there, where he's telling her, baby, get yourself another fool. I'm done with you. And he put a little bit of a hard edge on his voice on the vocal section at the end there. And then you had the nice guitar take you out of the song. Cool version of the song. Like I said, I've never heard this before. But this is the original version. This was done in 1948. So now we're going to go up 20 years to the Arthur Conley version that he released on his album Soul Directions. So this is Arthur Conley doing his cover version of Get Yourself Another Fool.
What you have done get yourself, you better get yourself another fool. I tried to.
Okay, so this is very different than the version that we just listened to. This version here is a little bit more upbeat. Okay, it's 20 years later. A lot of music has happened. A lot of changes to music has happened. We saw all kinds of changes just in genres in that 20 years. And Arthur Conley is kind of a soul man. He's a guy that does a lot of soul songs in the 60s. So he takes the song, which was, like I said, a kind of a smooth jazz, slow jazz song, and speeds it up. The instrumentation isn't really over the top. You still have the guitar, the bass, the drum, and the piano. But then he adds these female vocalists onto the refrain, which gives it that more of a gospel feel almost. Gives the song not only a jazz soul feel, but a little bit of a gospel feel as well. And like I said, he sped it up, so it gives it a little bit more of a rock beat to it as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of changes that Arthur Conley did to record his version of the song. But I think it's a hopping song. It's really, really good. Let's keep on going.
I tried to believe I was yours to command, but your kind of love my poor heart couldn't stand. Now I know the rules. Get yourself another fool. You better get yourself, darling. You better get yourself another fool. And now that we're through, oh, honey, you say that you meant to be true. Oh, but deep down in your heart, I know that your love could never grow. I tried to believe you. I was yours to command, but your kind of love my poor heart couldn't stand. Now I know the rules, so get yourself another fool. You better get yourself. You better get yourself. Get yourself another fool. Get yourself. You better get yourself. You better get yourself. Oh, what can I do but back up and run? Get yourself.
Oh, that's sweet. Like I said, when that song came on, when I was playing the reel-to-reel tape, and that came on, it was like my ears just opened up. It was like, I've heard that song before, but this is really a cool version of this song. Where did I hear this before? And like I said, I had to dig into it, found out that Elvis Costello covered it, Paul McCartney covered it, and then there was Sam Cooke covering it. Just a great, great, great song. The thing about the Arthur Conley version, too, that I really, really like is the way they use the guitar in there. Now, the guitar isn't up front throughout the whole song. There are just certain sections where the guitar comes in, and it's a real clean guitar too, kind of like the original version. But there was no instrumental break on the Arthur Conley. It was all about Arthur Conley's voice on this version. He's got a great soul voice. He puts a lot of emphasis into it. You can almost feel a little bit of pain at the end of the song when he's singing it. He just took over the whole song with his vocals. So there was no room to put an instrumental break like we heard on the original version of the song. So Arthur Conley, Great version of Get Yourself Another Fool. Like I said, it's fun listening to a lot of these old records I haven't listened to before, because then I find songs that I didn't realize were out there by other artists. And then I have to go out there and find out who else did these songs, because I know I've heard them somewhere before. So we listened to the original version, which was done by the Charles Brown Trio. That was from 1948. And then Arthur Conley's version of Get Yourself Another Fool from 1968. So I hope you enjoyed this comparison of this song. Both versions were so different from each other. Now, if you go back and you listen to the Elvis Costello version, I think that sounds more like the Charles Brown Trio version. And I believe, if I remember the Paul McCartney version correctly, that too is more like the original version. Arthur Conley took it and twisted it around and made it more of a soul rocker, and with a little bit of gospel in there, and give it a little bit more of a punch. That bass guitar in the Arthur Conley version is just right up front, and it sounds really massive throughout the whole song. So again, I hope you enjoyed the comparison of Get Yourself Another Fool, the original version by the Charles Brown Trio, and then one that was recorded 20 years later by Arthur Conley in 1968. If you did enjoy it, I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, that thumbs up button. That'd be really, really appreciated. If you have any comments about the Charles Brown Trio or Arthur Conley doing Get Yourself Another Fool, put in the comments below. That'd be really appreciated also. Now, I'm going to take a link to both videos, put in my description below. So if you want to hear the song again by either of the artists, click on the link. It'll open up and play for you. I'm also going to put a link to the channels that uploaded both videos. You might want to check out their channels. They may have some other videos you want to watch. Now, have you subscribed to Driving with Todd? If you haven't, why don't you do it right now? You have my video open. I'm sure you still do. Go down below and hit that subscribe button, and you'll be making me very happy. If you go over here and ring the bell, you'll get updates to my latest videos. Like I mentioned in my introduction, I was listening to this tape today by Arthur Conley. This song came on. It's like, I've heard this before. Where did I hear it? And I had to look into it. And from there, I went, I'm going to do this as a Driving with Todd reaction. And it put a big smile on my face. I'm hoping to put a big smile on your face. And peace out, baby.